Today on Suncoast View, how safe are we here on the Suncoast at parades, concerts, and beach events? The latest mass shooting has us all thinking. We'll discuss.
There's a new bar in downtown Sarasota, but instead of making craft cocktails, they're teaching you to make crafts. Today, we'll get a fall lesson on project ideas.
Venice Theater is swinging with the sounds of the 60s, and today the cast of Beehive the 60s musical is right here with a preview. All that and more right now in Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back to one of our favorite authors, Sheba.
Yes,
And say your last name for me, Mathieu, right? Mateo. See, I want to be good friends.
Kind of. Well, thank you for having me.
I saw that you had your book with you. Remind us again, because we do love your secrets to being a lady.
Thank you. 10 Secrets of Being a Lady is really a book about empowering children to find their own self-worth and self-esteem. And it's meant to be read with your mother or father.
It's such a great idea.
Yeah, we have that book, and my daughter loves it, and her 4-year-old loves to hear the stories.
I'm so
too.
glad, yes. We've just had a wonderful time, still going through the secrets and just talking about radiating confidence, being your own self, being honest with how you feel, and finding your circle of friends that actually respects that for you.
And lessons that are so important to start learning young. So I love the fact that you're working on a second one, and we will talk about that coming up a little bit later. But also, 'tis the season. As we get into October, we're thinking chilly, we're thinking fall, we're getting there. And Brian and Patty from the Sarasota County Fire Department are here to talk about the 18th annual Morton's Firehouse Chili Cook-Off. Wow, it's been a lot of them. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what type of chili we're making today. Any secret name we got going here?
We're calling it a black and tan chili.
Oh,
Black and tan.
For one of the special ingredients we have in there.
I think I like the sound of that. All right, now tell us just briefly about the chili cook-off. How many different recipes would you estimate we're going to see this year?
Well, this year we've actually got 16 teams that will be competing. This is the first year that we've included the Sheriff's Office and the Sarasota Police Department, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're expecting around 2,000 to 3,000 people there. So
Winning is a big deal, right?
Oh, it's a great deal.
It is, and it's coming up on October 8th. We will talk more about the details of the event later, but I like the concept of the First Responders Showdown. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Exactly.
So,
am I going? I think
yeah. we get a preview today. You'll like that. And I do like, because I've seen the recipe, that there are some surprises in this recipe, and they're willing to share the ingredients. So we're going to get to find out how to make it extra special at home. So.
Oh, I hope their competition is not listening.
Exactly. Well, we're going to get a leg up, that's for sure. It is time for our first hot topic, and sadly there are more questions than answers surrounding the Las Vegas mass shooting at the Mandalay Bay Resort. But one question we can consider here on the Suncoast: what can be done to keep places like outdoor concerts and stadium venues safe? This incident brings an unsettling reality to security, given the distance and elevation from the concert where all this occurred. Would we fare any better on the Suncoast with our crowded downtown streets for parades? Is there anything that can be done to protect? And does this make you feel vulnerable?
It doesn't make me feel vulnerable, because I don't feel like we should dictate our lives and change our daily interaction because there's one crazy person out there. There's always going to be crazies out there, and you cannot put yourself in the mindset that they are in, or can you defend yourself from crazy. You just don't know how far a person is willing to go. So I think the solution isn't with security and things like that of a facility or of an outdoor space. I think it's more with regulations and preventing a certain amount of bullets from being sold, or certain types of weapons from being sold.
Well, he bought 2 different weapons, I guess, that you can buy very easily separate, but you can't buy them together because it's so dangerous. And all you have to do is buy each one and put them together. So we need to control that sort of thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
What they have in their hands, because you're right, we can't control crazy people who know they look just like all the rest of us.
Does it matter what's in their hands, though? I mean, let's say you're at a parade and, you know, think about back to the Boston Marathon. That was no big old complicated weapon. It was a lot of people in a space, and it's like,
We've got a lot
do
of
you do?
technology.
But
I think
that's
hypervigilance
Yeah.
becomes important, where we're all kind of looking out for one another, making sure that we're communicating within our communities that we're involved with, like especially in the case of the Boston Massacre.
Yeah,
Or
I mean
Boston, I'm sorry.
it's a hard balance because you don't want to ever infringe on people's rights to have weapons, but you also want to regulate it where it's not getting into the wrong hands. And I think that's probably part of the issues. Like even now, certain things like the process to get a weapon, they do the background checks, but they're not linked, so you don't know how many weapons or how many this or how. I think there's ways to better control it. I just don't think we're doing that.
This man had never even had a parking ticket, I don't think. So you just don't know. I think it's like a hurricane. Horrible things are going to happen in this life, but you just have to prepare yourself because there were so many heroes. There was
tough.
one bad guy, and there were hundreds of heroes.
Absolutely.
out
And
there.
security can be done on certain levels. So, you know, when we see our events, I wonder now, will we see security changes a little bit?
I think
you
it
know,
should
as a
be.
result. I mean,
I
it's
think,
things
you know,
we haven't
it makes
considered.
others more, I think, calm, you know, in terms of seeing that presence.
Exactly. No, I think I would hope that the security presence would at least be there. So
It sort of made me plan what I'm going to do if I'm ever in a situation like that, how I'm going to stop and
right.
help and not run like
But
crazy.
the thing is, I'm sure they had security at the Mandalay.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
he didn't bring all those weapons up at once, but how do you say
Yes.
someone is going to be on one of those floors so far up
Yep.
in front of a concert, and you can't say no concert?
Right.
Yep.
You know,
No.
how do you
Right.
find that balance?
it's
Maybe
definitely
something electronic that goes off when so much metal is in a room.
It'll something
be.
that'll have to be figured out. Well, Uber will soon give you a place to put your feet up in Suncoast shopping malls. The ride company is putting Uber-branded lounges in all Westfield shopping centers across the country. The first one's going to open LA, but all 33 Westfield properties will get them, including the 3 Westfield malls here on the Suncoast. You don't have to be an Uber customer to use the lounge, but it does provide a definitive spot for pickups and drop-offs to occur. I love this because if you've ever gotten Uber, it can be very awkward trying to describe where you are and standing out in front of a building. And,
Yeah.
Or in the road, am I going to
yes,
get hit? Oh, so,
exactly.
sorry. Is it you?
Here
Is
I
it
am.
you?
This-
Yeah.
no, exactly. So I think
Walking
that's a
into
great
wrong
idea.
cars that are not Uber.
Yes, that's
Oh,
true.
I'm sorry. You're just a regular person driving around. My mistake. I should not be in this car.
And maybe, you know, maybe an incentive to get more people to Uber, which would certainly help some of our traffic troubles here on the
Yeah.
Suncoast.
Yes.
So that would be a good thing, kind of a modern taxi stand, if you will. So the health safety of vaccinations is still a debate for some parents, despite state laws requiring them for school. So what should a parent do if they were to find out that someone is non-compliant, meaning choosing not to vaccinate their own children? So 20 states allow personal belief exemptions from vaccination laws. Did you know Florida is one of them? So do you tell school officials or other parents about non-vaccinated kids out of concern for other children? Do you narc?
Well, yes. And I went through this with my my son and daughter-in-law in Atlanta. My daughter-in-law did not want the children vaccinated, and so I called our pediatrician here and I said, can I bring them in and have them vaccinated and not tell her? And they said, absolutely not.
Right.
So you need, I mean, but then the school intervened and they are, thank God, vaccinated now. So I think you just need to go to a higher authority.
Put
so
the
that
pressure on?
Because you're affecting too many other children. There are 30 kids in a classroom maybe, and that child could get mumps or measles or something like that and spread them to a lot not
Yes, I think the
Absolutely.
lack of education in terms of vaccination, or you know whether to vaccinate or not, really comes into play because it's not just the flu. You know
Right.
that they're being impacted.
But what do you
by.
do? Like, what if it's your girlfriend at the playground and she's like, you know, I just can't do it, so I'm not gonna, and I'm pulling my ethics card.
I think I agree with Linda. Go to a higher authority and just say, okay, is there something we can do here? I am concerned. Or
Yes.
I saw that child on the playground and
trying-
he's sniffling. And
And he's
I don't
all
want
over
to-
my
he's
kid.
all over my
And what if
kid.
it's
Yeah.
whooping cough?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
kids are germy
Yes.
just in general. Kids are already germy. Have you been around kids?
I have, actually.
They're germy.
The 5 I live with.
So I think, you know, it's always one of those things, that balance, because you know, I don't want to ever infringe on my feelings on someone, but the more people vaccinate, the less other people around them are going to be impacted.
That's right.
Yes.
So it's not
Yes.
just for you. It's
Absolutely.
for other people.
But
It's a
most people that
societal
don't
concern,
vaccinate it don't necessarily look it like that. So I thought it was an interesting, what do you do when the girl, how do you play that girlfriend card?
Take her out for a
Tell the
cocktail
school.
to the bar.
The school will be
under the
guy.
table. You play that card under the table. All right. Well,
Yes.
imagine a day where you say yes to all of your kids' requests. Candy, trips to the park, whatever they want, within reason, of course. Fun but exhausting for a parent. Here's a selfie of what actress Jennifer Garner looked like after her yes day. She gave the kids the chance to be in charge, so they wanted to sleep in a tent in the backyard. It's an annual event in their family, and this yes day concept is actually from a children's book that proposes the mythical holiday where kids get to be in charge. I love this concept, and I love the fact that Jennifer Garner had no makeup on and looked terrible,
She looked
like
awful. I
all
love
the rest
that.
of us do from day to day. So
No, she didn't.
That
We
was-
don't say that.
that was nice to see. But what a cool concept, a yes day.
Oh,
That's
my
a side effect
grandkids
of
would eat
making your
nothing but
kids.
candy.
Okay.
That's a side effect of making your kids read too many books.
So here's in my house we have yes day packages. So I create 3 packages, and the first package will say, okay, an hour of television, and I'll bake you cookies. You get pancakes for breakfast, and the package 2 will say, all right, so you get a cupcake for breakfast. It'll be something like whatever she wants after 2 o'clock, before 8 on Saturday, and that's it. That's it.
You
That
gotta
would be
wake
called
up.
a yes day with
That's
parameters.
exactly right.
That's
So
the
we
way to
do
go.
it.
Great Christmas
Yes,
gift.
exactly. So she gets to choose her packages.
Sounds like a lot of work.
I like the parameters, though. That kept you from sleeping in a tent in the yard.
That's
Kept
right,
you
and
from
I can
looking
still
like
go out
Jennifer
that night.
Garner.
That's very fun. But from a kid's mental, they spend most of their life hearing no and this
That's
and these
right.
are the rules and this is how we do it.
I'm sure they love it.
It's good for them to have
Yeah.
a little fun like that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, with teenagers, I'm a little scared to have a yes day, so I don't know. I think I might be over that hump.
With
we'll
younger
be all right.
kids, it's going to be more time on the iPad. I know exactly what they're going to choose.
I've learned my lesson. You have to give kids parameters. Who
Yeah.
would you just say just whatever you want? They tell you whatever they want. and you
Right.
expect
No,
it.
parameters are probably a good choice. So we know that praising our kids is important for self-esteem, but how we praise may impact future success. Praising children for specific talents and intelligence can end up backfiring. Research says it actually causes kids to be reluctant to try and work hard at things they aren't naturally good at. They found that the way we compliment kids can impact their actions, and it explains why many people, including adults, sticks to what comes easiest to them. I love this because for so many years we've heard, be sure to praise, and I don't think the new generation has any problem being praised. How good they are and how, wow, you did so great at this, and you did so great at this. But then when it's something different, they think, ooh, that's not something I'm good at. Maybe I don't
not
want
gonna get
I don't
praise
want to, or maybe I don't want to do that, or maybe I'm not going to be good at it. Like then and I see that all the time where somebody will be like, well, I'm good at baseball. I don't want to play soccer. I'm good at baseball.
Well, we had the opposite problem. When we moved from Atlanta to Pittsburgh, my son was in 8th grade, and they were horrible to him. They were horrible to him for his Southern accent. And my husband, who was a football coach and used to driving young men, kept saying, he needs something he's good at. If we can find one thing he's good at, then he will be willing to try other things.
Okay.
And it worked. He took karate, still takes it today, loved it, and he walked around with his head up and his shoulders back, and he was proud of himself.
And you were able to say you tried this and succeeded, so
Yeah.
now you should try
So
this
then he
and
took
succeed.
guitar.
Yeah, but I think it's the approach, though. I think it's the same thing that you're saying, but I don't want people to get to the point where they're saying, okay, only the things that I'm good at, I'm going to do. You still have to encourage other things and let them go outside of their comfort level, because once they get comfortable, they don't try.
I agree. I see that.
And I think we have to empower hard work,
Yeah.
not necessarily accomplishment.
Result.
Yeah, exactly. Not necessarily, what it is you've achieved. And because for my daughter, I'll often say, you did a really good job. You did a great job. This was hard work. Do you remember when you couldn't even do X, Y, Z? Just kind of always reminding them there was a point with everything, whether it's a cartwheel, whether it's, writing a paragraph, whatever it is, just reminding them that there was a point that they weren't even able to accomplish that much.
Yeah.
And look what your effort
and look
has
at what your
done.
effort.
That
That's
reminds me
correct.
of what we were talking about earlier, that Oprah said one question everybody that should ever interviewed ask after the interview, did I do okay? Was that all right? And since then I've noticed everybody I've interviewed, no matter how powerful they are, will say, was that okay? So people still need encouragement. They still
Right.
need approval.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think teaching the hard work ethic is probably
Yes.
the most
That's
valuable
That's
lesson.
the only thing that'll work in most things.
Exactly. I think we all need to remember that. Well, there are a few days as special as a wedding day, but a Canadian couple's wedding turned into a rescue mission. The newly married couple was posing for pictures by the pond when the groom saw a child struggling in the water. Before the bride even knew what was going on, her new husband ran down and jumped in to pull out the boy, who had apparently gotten away from an older sibling. That man is a keeper.
Oh, yes, he's a keeper.
I mean,
I think I would have been in tears.
Isn't that
People
amazing?
would say, well, I would have done it, but I didn't want to get my suit wet.
Right, or
That I'm still taking my picture.
Right,
You know, you
excuse
gotta
me.
still be
He's
posing.
drowning, not right now.
without even saying anything, just turn and go.
That's
So,
amazing.
yep, he is a keeper. We're proud of her.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to check out our happy hour forecast. When we come back, a Suncoast doctor talks about the changing face of facelifts.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
For this afternoon, a very windy day today. Winds have been out of the northeast, anywhere from 15 to 20, gusts as high as 25 to 30 at times. And you can see those sustained winds now at 15 miles an hour at Lakewood Ranch, 16 in Bradenton. Down south, same story, 20 at Warm Mineral Springs, 21 at Northport right now. Breezy conditions are expected overnight, too, and throughout the day tomorrow. What we have is a pressure pattern setting up now. High pressure to the north, low pressure down to the south. We're sandwiched in between. We're going to be in the mix for those strong winds out of the east and northeast over the upcoming 2 days. Small craft advisories are in effect. We'll also see these brief showers move through. They're not all that intense in terms of rainfall. They will bring some brief periods of moderate to heavy rain at times, but it's not going to stick around long because they're moving so fast at this point. You can see that rainfall now off of Palmetto and Bradenton, also near Sebring, and places down to our south. Currently, we have cloudy skies, 80 degrees, the heat index at 85, and the dew point at 76, east wind at 13.
We know our appearance changes as we age, but the good news is we don't have to just sit back and watch it happen. Dr. Brian Derby from the Sarasota Plastic Surgery Center is here to tell us about the modern facelift. What typically happens? You know, 10 years ago at Sarasota Plastic Surgery Center, I had a facelift. That was 10 years ago. What's the modern facelift like?
Sure, Linda. So really the concept that I want to share with you is aging basically boiling down into two components. One is droop or sag. So if you're walking around looking in the mirror, drooping and constantly pulling back like so, that's the component that I'm talking about with respect to sag. But really what we've learned over the last 15, 20 years is that with modern facelifting techniques, we're really restoring volume. So I'm basically restructuring, reshaping the underlying tissues beneath the skin, and then adding volume where it's been lost over the years, which you'll see in an example I brought with you today.
Well, I look in the mirror and I see that big changes are happening, like everything's moving down.
Certainly.
Is this true?
So you can't affect gravity. Gravity, it always wins, Linda, as I tell all my patients. So 10 years duration is usually about average for
Oh,
facelifting.
look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Is that what's happening to us?
That's a great example there.
That's not a good example. That's a depressing example. Are you kidding?
Yeah, everybody desires that on the left, not so much the right.
Exactly.
Can we come up with more scientific words other than droop and sag? I mean, like,
Sure.
you know, like,
But that's what it looks like, I'm
beauty something.
So with a modern facelift, what do you do about that? Different from 10 years ago for me.
Sure. So in your particular case, what might have been done at that time is that surgeons were often accustomed to lifting the skin off the face. And this example on the right here is good. It shows the lifting of the skin in the green and really the restructuring in pink. So when the rubber hits the road with facelifting, what we're talking about is actually lifting that deeper, more firm tissue underneath and stitching that upwards so as to rejuvenate the cheek and rejuvenate the jowl and the neck so everything flows nicely rather than providing patients with a skin pulled tight, windblown look.
So I was going to say, does that affect the end result look-wise then when you're not just pulling?
So it's not just your skin.
Exactly. Without question, Bobette, you don't want to just pull, suture, and then send the patient out the door. They look classic stigmata of facelifting.
Yeah, we used to be able to tell by looking at
without
people.
Yeah, well, you've got a picture. I think you brought some pictures to show us of actual patients.
I sure did. Yeah, this is a good example of one of my patients. Really, you need to point out, or I want to point out her cheek region, how it's deflated. You see her jowls that are really accentuated. On our oblique view, this is called, you can look at the neck bands and the jowls again. And with lifting, really what we want is the best version of you possible. I don't want any one of my patients walking out the door looking windblown, but I want their neckline to be defined, I want their jawline to be defined, I want their cheeks and temples area around the eyes to be restored. Just a better version of you.
Yeah, her profile, you can definitely see the difference in that picture.
Yeah, recovery time was a big question for me, but I had my facelift on Monday. I was back on the air anchoring the news on Saturday. What's the recovery time like for most people?
I think that's fair. About a week duration that you can expect some bruising for a couple of days. We're really emphasize icing post-operatively and taking it easy, but a week is very reasonable to anticipate restoring social life, interacting with family, getting out and about. That's very reasonable.
Okay,
Wow,
fat grafting.
even guys.
Look at that.
This.
Yeah, there's another patient of mine. Again, men are doing it too. It's
absolutely.
very much in vogue. So again, looking at his cheeks, the idea was he was sunken, he was sullen, he was tired of looking tired, and we just really revolumized him to create harmony between his eyes, his cheeks, his jowls, and his neck.
Fat grafting. I don't think I have that. I've got a lot to work with if you're interested.
Most of my patients have a friendly neighbor, a friendly husband that's willing to donate, but generally we just suction their own fat and take it from an area that they don't want it.
Is that to fill? When you were talking about restoring, volume, so you can take fat from your own body and then
Move it somewhere else.
put it right. I got places I'd like to take it from and put it there.
Yeah, that's right, Stephanie. You take fat from one location, and really very typical locations to graft would be in the brow, just to accentuate the arch, the lower eyelid, to really blend the distinction between eyelid and cheek, and then through the cheek itself to accentuate that highlight that most people desire.
And these are things people have lost over the years that you're putting back, not like you're just going to recreate.
Correct. Yeah, we understand, again, with research over the last 15, 20 years, that as we age, things sink in. It's not just droop, it's not just sagging skin laxity, to be more scientific.
Thank you. Skin
but
laxity.
it's really a revolumizing and restructuring and then simply draping the skin on top.
So if you're not ready for surgery, injections, Botox, which I also got at Sarasota Plastic Surgery Center for many, many, many years.
Yes. So yeah, injectable off-the-shelf fillers like Botox, like Juvederm, Restylane, these are some of the trade names that we use. They're all hyaluronic based, or neurotoxins like Botox. Those are great temporary treatments before a facelift.
Before facelift. Well, this is really great information. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
and
having me.
Dr. Derby is hosting a Botox event coming up on October 5th. For more information, you can visit the Sarasota Plastic Surgery website. And coming up next, our guest host, Sheba, is going to tell us about her latest book.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar, A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Welcome back. Well, our guest host today, Sheba Mateo, joined us to talk about the release of her book, 10 Secrets to Being a Lady, and we loved learning about that. And now there's another book, and it'll be the boys' turn.
That's
so
right.
That'll be a lot of fun. But let's go back first to talking about your first book. Remind us again, what made you want to sit down and kind of give a guide to how being a woman should go?
Well, I think for me growing up, it was always difficult to find role models that were outside of my community. And even when you do, you see them mostly in the media. So the qualities that are portrayed are not necessarily the qualities that you want for your children.
Yeah.
So these secrets are really more about intrinsic motivation to be your best self, you know, finding their own self-worth and identifying that at an early age. Only playing with people that are kind to you is, yes, a lesson, but, you know, how do you recognize that kindness from others if you're not giving that yourself?
Well,
So,
and as a mom, I really appreciate it, because a lot of this is, you know, things that we get so bogged down in the everydays, you know, just trying to get the homework done and dinner on the table, and, you know, you might actually forget
The little lessons.
to say these lessons. And I know now that I'm dealing with one heading off to college, I'm worried. Like, what are all these things I haven't taught you?
Yeah.
Really
Absolutely.
basic things, like, you know, you don't have to be everybody's best friend, but you do have to treat them well. You know, I mean, just little life lessons, and you've done a great job kind of encapsulating those.
And
Thank you.
kids will listen to something in a book where
Versus
they won't listen to their
parent.
mom
Maybe
or their
that's why I
grandmother.
stopped telling those lessons.
Like they weren't paying attention anyway.
Society will whip you into shape regardless, but it's nice to have
That's
the
another good
confidence.
lesson.
It's true, it's true. But it's nice to, you know, have that conversation, and you know, my daughter will talk about all those kinds of, just like your children, you know, talk
Right.
about the same things. Like, what do I do if, you know, if someone, you know, turns their back to me or covers their ears because they don't like my singing, you know?
Right.
And then you say, well, you know, you just have to be kind to that person always, you know,
Coping
walk away with
mechanisms.
coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
walk away with kindness.
I know,
you know?
boys are tough, because I'm raising one of
Yes.
each, and there is a totally different set of brain waves and learning curves, but also rules to being a gentleman.
That's
So
right.
how did you approach doing it for boys?
It's really interesting. I had to go back and do a lot of reading, because there are a lot of books on etiquette which really, in my opinion, don't apply to today's world as much, right? And then a lot of interviews, I would say, not just with my father and my brother, but friends and their husbands and issues that they've kind of confronted. And then I decided the secrets are very similar. You still want your son to radiate or project confidence. And how is he going to do that? You still want him to be kind to others and understand, you know, that in certain instances, projecting a sort of mannerism is important. So the secrets are honestly almost the same, with, of course, I had to include with how to treat a lady in the very end. You know.
Absolutely.
And it's just about respect and being able to understand that what you give or what you put out in the universe, you will get back in return. You know,
Absolutely.
regardless.
Yes.
And unless you're centered at 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 11 and 12, unless you have those morals, you know,
You can't teach them at 20.
That's right.
Here's a random question.
Oh, sorry.
Do kids really get this? Or is it too above them, you know, at a child?
Wonderful question, Babette. What ends up happening with this particular book, which I think kind of missed the gamut in terms of marketing, is that you have to read it with your parent. You don't just give it to your child and say, here you go.
It's a together project.
There's a section for the mother and a section for the child. There's a section for the father and a section for the child, you know.
And good for you for encouraging that, because
Yes.
that's what we want to be doing. We want to be sitting down with our kids, sharing the experience and sharing the stories. And it's hard in the everyday world.
It
so
is.
I appreciate the vehicle
It
for getting
is.
that done.
Oh, thank you.
All right, we can't wait to see book 2. It is on the way. We will, of course, be checking her website for the latest updates on that. All right, get ready. We are getting crafty when we come back.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I love DIY projects, and sometimes it would be nice to create in a more social setting and not at home. That's where the latest bar in Sarasota comes in. It's called the Craft Bar, and the owner, Yvonne Scheller, and Wendy Mason are here to tell us all about it. All right, ladies, tell me why you created the Craft Bar. Because when I think of Craft Bar, I think of craft cocktails.
Well, we were kind of having some craft cocktails when we came up with the idea.
We were.
We were sitting at a bar, drinking a couple cocktails, and dreaming about the perfect job, what our perfect vision was. And we had the same vision. It was sitting around in a bar-type atmosphere with friends and creating. And just laughing and having fun.
Yeah, it's creating an environment where people can come in and have a good time and forget whatever's going on outside those doors.
That's wonderful.
And in the process of that, you guys are creating all types of things. So tell us about some of the projects that you guys make.
We make all sorts of projects. Even some of the things that we sell, we make ourselves. But if you can see down below, there's some burlap pumpkins. There are
Just
a lot
anything,
of
huh?
We do anything that people want to create. We are actually really good at doing that kind of stuff. So if you don't know how to do it, we'll figure it out for you.
So if we had an idea,
if you had an idea,
you could even bring it in and you'd make it happen.
Everybody has something saved from Pinterest.
Absolutely.
That they've been wanting to do. And you bring us the idea, we'll get all the supplies, we'll figure out how to do it. We will fail first, even if we have to throw it in the trash.
We've thrown many things in the trash.
And then
things in the trash.
There are epic fails.
Well, speaking of epic fails, I hope this is not one. Tell us about the project we're going to be making today.
Okay. Today we are going to be taking a simple regular wine glass and turning it into a holiday candle holder.
Which is cute as can be.
I like
that. And so tell us what Sheba should do first.
Okay, so we already started back at the craft bar and did the very first step for you. All the glasses need 2 coats of acrylic paint. So we gave you the first coat already. So now you're just going to add another coat, okay? And you want to paint in downward motion so you get that same feel of a pumpkin, the lines of a pumpkin.
Oh, okay. So something like this?
Yep, just like that.
My daughter would love this.
She's going to be so proud of you.
Oh, she will. If I could only have a cocktail and I do this with her.
You don't want to drink out of these glasses.
Oh, no, you don't. That's right, darn it.
You'll have purple, you'll have green and orange lips.
Right.
I do have a cocktail question, just because, you know, we're going to call it a bar here.
Right.
May we bring cocktails or wine or something like that? Okay.
We are 100% for BYOB, whether it is an adult beverage or a kid's birthday party and you're bringing a juice box.
What a great idea. Okay, good.
All right, so Linda has the next step.
Okay, Linda has the hardest step. She is going to add some highlights to the pumpkin so it doesn't just look like an orange glass.
Okay.
You can see our sample here, how we've got a little bit of orange and brown in there.
So I take this one and do brown?
Just give a little bit of, little dip in there.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Don't.
Okay.
And just a quick line. Yep, perfect. And then around a little bit, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she's
so
got the sound
not,
effect.
So there's not one exact thing that you can do.
No, there's no science really to it, like specific science. It's just
Perfect.
kind of your creative nature to run the brush down the bottle.
All right, well, Wendy, what's
Now
your,
we're
what's
going to
the
add
third
some
step?
orange.
The third step, actually, Babette, you have the easiest step of all.
I like that.
You're going to take the glass, and then you're just going to take your paintbrush. This is what we have. We have a Mod Podge, which is a sealer, and you're really just going to seal the entire glass.
Oh, okay.
With one
so
coat
this,
of Mod Podge.
And with the sealing, does this mean I can put it in the dishwasher, or that's still excessive?
I would not put this one in the dishwasher unless you have the dishwasher safe Mod Podge, which they do sell. So, but this particular one is not. This is actually a gloss Mod Podge. You can get it in gloss or matte. So we went with the glossy finish.
Okay.
So this just protects it, especially if you decide you want to put it outside.
Okay. And then as I put this together, Stephanie has the last step. What is she going to do?
She's going to embellish.
Oh,
She's going to
I've already
embellish with her
messed up.
little hoo-haws.
I'm going to put my little hoo-ha down here, though.
Do I have a hoo-ha?
No. Goodness, who's got a hoo-ha?
What is happening?
I love
Speaking
this.
of hoo-ha,
That's a whatchamacallit.
Or a doohickey.
And we have lots of hoo diggers too.
Well, you have lots of other stuff that you, some projects that you guys have. Describe some of the ones that are on the floor for me, because I heard about some glasses that I can't see right now that I heard are really nice. The mason, the mason jars.
Oh. So we have some of our fall crafts down here. Stuff that's going to be coming up for October and November.
Okay.
We have our fall mason jars, and there's hand-painted wine bottles that one looks like a pumpkin again, very similar to what you're doing. We also have a Be Thankful table runner, and we have some adorable little burlap pumpkins. So we try to keep our open bars to more seasonal things.
And I'm going to go into, I want us to go into detail about that in just a moment. But before that, I want to check in with Linda.
Linda's doing great.
Okay, I'm doing orange because this is like an eraser. If I got my line, she told me if I got my line too fat, I could change it. How'd I do?
I think you did great.
Good, Linda.
I think it looks fantastic.
I'm so proud.
I'm proud of you.
Linda, we didn't have any crafting abilities.
Me. I'm the one that says that.
Are you doing okay over there?
I'm okay.
Okay. She's got the dangerous one.
I know she does.
Well, earlier you guys mentioned open bar. What is the difference between your open bar and your private bar?
So our open bars are pre-scheduled bars, or it's a class, a pre-scheduled class with a pre-scheduled craft.
Oh, okay.
We have one scheduled each day of the week. And then, so that's a great opportunity if you just have one or two people and you want to go and be creative. Now, our private bars, that's where the fun really is at.
Okay.
If you have a group of 6 or more people, you can pick your time, pick your craft, and pick your people.
Okay.
And don't forget to pick your bottle of wine.
Yes. I like it.
So private bars are
Absolutely.
great for like bachelorette parties, birthday parties, and we even do kids' birthday parties.
And so you do
love the
kids bar,
concept.
kids craft bar.
We do
Yes,
have a
they're
kids craft bar.
crafty.
Yes,
Oh,
they're crafty
good.
kids.
All right, well, I love the concept. The craft bar is on Pineapple Avenue in downtown Sarasota, and you can also find them on their website, thecraftbar.org. And we're going to keep working because when we get involved, we just can't stop. But when we come back, Venice Theater is here with a preview of their new musical. We'll be right back.
That would be nice.
That's nice,
Right, we
right?
could do it.
You could.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals. And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at the top of the hour. President Trump's first visit to Puerto Rico since Hurricane Maria devastated the island 2 weeks ago, what he's doing to fast-track recovery efforts there. Plus, a slow process of clearing the streets of Sarasota County, how long it will take before all the debris from Irma is gone. Let's get a check now on our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Breezy today, Scott. Lots of strong winds out of the northeast, anywhere from 15 to 20, gusts as high as 25 to 30 at times. Sustained at Anna Maria at 23 miles an hour right there. Parrish at 21. Out of the east and northeast, this tight pressure gradient will stick around too. It looks like right through Wednesday and Thursday. Small craft advisories remain in effect. Some strong easterly winds starting to bring some moisture back into play too. We'll talk about our rain chances and how they may be increasing as we approach the weekend. Details and all that coming up today at 5. Hope to see you then.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Just go do it. Go do it. If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
We're all about girl power on this show, and so is Venice Theater's newest musical, Beehive. The 60s musical is a look back at the swinging 60s from the perspective of 6 young women. Laurie Colton, the marketing director at the Venice Theater, has brought us a preview of Beehive. Oh, do I remember those beehives. I had a tall one. Oh, I'd love to see this show. So tell us about it.
Well, it starts in 1960 and goes all the way through 1969. So if you were there, you remember the decade was quite amazing and how it changed over the years. So we've got early songs from the early 60s, the mid 60s, and then the end of the 60s. So we've got some Janis Joplin, we've got Leslie Gore, we've got Dusty Springfield and Aretha. So all these great songs sung by 6 amazing local talented women.
So tell me the names of some of those songs they sing.
My gosh.
That sounds like I'll know some of them.
Right, You Don't Own Me,
Oh, I
My
love that one.
Boyfriend's Back, the Supreme songs. We've got what you're going to hear today, which is Chain of Fools.
Well, tell me about these ladies. Now, you've got an amazing cast of ladies,
we
right?
do. We have 6, but 2 of them are at work right now. So we have 4 with us today, and Sarita Banks over there on the left, you would recognize from so many different shows at West Coast Black Theater Troupe, Venice Theater. She was in Sister Act last year. Natalie, who's the youngest in the cast, she was the lead in Zombie Prom over the summer.
Yes.
Yep, and we also have Vera Samuels, who does the Janis Joplin stuff and gets standing ovations every night. We've got Alyssa Pasick from Zombie Prom as well, and Charlotte Crowley. So did I miss anybody?
The rehearsals
Oh, I'm sorry, Ariel Blue.
Oh, Ariel, we've seen you so many times.
Right.
She feels like she lives here. She's here so much.
Right.
So I bet the rehearsals have been crazy and funny.
So fun. I'm in a show at the theater right now on the other stage, and I kind of wish that I was in this one because I hear them singing. I know.
Well,
I hear
and
them
fun for
singing.
costumes and hair. I mean, this is just a great.
And the decade changed so much from 60 to 69. So you've got the hippie styles and you've got the mod styles and everything in between. So it's really fun as far as costumes and music.
All right.
And it comments on the decade as well. So there's a little bit of politics and civil rights thrown in there. So yeah, it's pretty
great
awesome.
music.
And great music.
Well, let's hear some of that great music. Okay, ladies, take it away.
Chain, chain, chain. 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 Chain of fools. For 5 long years, I thought you were my man. But I found out I'm just a link in your chain. You got me where you want me. I ain't nothing but your fool. You treated me mean. Oh, you treated me cruel. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Every chain has got a weak link. I might be weak, child, but I'll give you strength. Whoa, hey, yeah. You told me to leave you alone. My father said, come on home. My doctor said, take it easy. Oh, but your loving is much too strong. I'm added to your chain, chain, chain. 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 Chain of fools.
Wow, we want to hear more of that. Beehive, the 60s musical, is at the Venice Theater now through October 22nd. For tickets and information, visit their website, Venice Stage. Next, we'll check in with our chili experts in the kitchen.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Okay, we are all excited for the big chili cook-off coming up, so we want to head to the kitchen and get the details of what it's going to be like to go out there and sample all those different kinds of chili. Let's hear from our Sarasota County Fire crew. Tell us what we can expect on October 8th.
Well, our chili cook-off starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on October 8th. We usually expect between 2,000 and 3,000 people that show up. There's music, tons of fun. And a couple gallons of chili.
All right, so tell us about these recipes. Who comes up with the one that you guys have? I mean, is there more than one? Do you have like an internal contest first? How do you do this?
There's a lot of them. A lot of trial and error. a lot of guys that have had multiple cook-offs have tried and failed, and then switch up the recipe a little bit. Some guys have personal friends in the restaurant business, and they'll add some tips. So a lot of different recipes.
I like that you threw down the gauntlet, and we've got sheriff and police coming out as well. We're going to make this a first responder battle. This is coming up on October 8th. You won't want to miss it. It is the 18th annual Firehouse Chili Cook-Off. And for more information, you can go to Morton's Market website. And I see we have the fire extinguisher ready. Uh-oh. I'm thinking this is a 5-alarm one. All right, we're ready. Taste buds are out, and we're coming to you. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
All right.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. The less than packed Tropicana Field, where the Tampa Bay Rays attendance ranked this year compared to other MLB teams. And taking a quick look at your first alert traffic, right now there are no accidents to report, but traffic is moving a bit slow on US 41 in both the north and southbound lanes near Bee Ridge Road. Now let's get a check on your forecast with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Bob
Thanks,
Harrison.
Jacqueline. I appreciate it. We have some showers right now moving from the east to the west right now. The activity is fairly heavy down to our south and the inland areas near Lake Okeechobee, but the rain has been fast moving, so we're not seeing any kind of problems with any flooding right now. And you can see some of that rainfall now on Longboat Key, stretching up toward Anna Maria Island, also down south near Punta Gorda and near Wauchula right now. As I mentioned, very windy weather today. Winds out of the east and northeast at 15 to 20. We'll have the details on that and the tropics at 5.
When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
Coming up Wednesday at 4 on Suncoast View, as temperatures cool down, home selling season is heating up. We'll talk to our real estate expert about how to get your home sold as quickly as possible. Hundreds of Suncoast students are coming together to talk about college and career options. We'll hear the latest, plus what to do with your winter squash. And Chef Judy has the best tacos right here on the Suncoast.
All right, welcome back. Right now we're in the kitchen with Patty and Brian from the Sarasota Fire Department, and it's all about chili.
Yes, it is.
That's right, always.
Yes, it is.
So tell me about how, I know we got the end result here, but how did we get to this point? How did you start this off?
So a pretty basic chili recipe, just like everyone does at home. We brown some meat, we brown some peppers, onions, garlic. Really nothing too crazy about the initial recipe.
All right, and we have Sheba over there. Should she be cutting them very small, or how should she cut it?
Yeah, so the smaller you cut them, the quicker they'll cook.
Okay. So kind of just dice it?
Chop it up?
Sure.
Give lots of instruction, assume we know nothing.
You can do the entire clove of garlic too. I mean,
okay.
We love garlic.
Oh, that's
Never
it?
have enough.
How long do you cook
that's
the chili?
really small.
It depends.
Sheba,
Usually,
move that big piece of garlic out the way so I can see what you're doing.
Over here?
I need all the tips I can get.
Okay.
and this pumpkin pepper we have here.
Yeah, that's a big pepper.
Wow.
So am I supposed to
look
cut
at
the
you.
peppers too? What am I doing here?
Yeah, have at it. Anything you see in front of you, cut. Watch your fingers.
All right.
All right, so
a couple of fingers there.
So Sheba's a lot better than us normally. You're like cutting for real.
All right, so you brown it all up, get it softened, and that's then when the variety starts to come in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can add pretty much any sort of bean variety that you like. I like to use crushed tomatoes.
Okay.
It's a little bit thicker than the tomato sauce, but it's not as chunky as the whole peeled tomatoes.
All right, go ahead, and Linda's adding the
You can add all
vegetables.
that in.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
this is
Some green peppers.
I've got more. I've got more.
Red peppers and some garlic.
red peppers and garlic.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
And the
All
longer
at
it
the
sits,
same
better.
time. Okay. Here we go.
All right, and then you were talking tomatoes. I always get confused about whether we should use sauce or whole ones or crushed. So you like crushed ones.
So you actually take the tomatoes and crush them.
I just buy them crushed like that.
Oh, do you? Good. That's what I like.
Okay.
You don't spend a lot of time at the grocery.
Good to know.
There's an aisle in the grocery where they have cans of tomatoes.
Yes.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Who knew? All right, so you pour that in.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
And then some beans.
Yep, we got some chili beans in here,
Okay.
and we also threw some tomato paste in to kind of thicken it up a little bit.
Okay, now I beans, because you don't just use kidney beans, you use chili beans, so they've got a spice in them.
Yeah,
So what's the
this one's
difference?
already got the spice. These ones already have the
These are
spice
the,
in
yeah,
them.
those are the spice ones already.
Okay.
And different preference. Everyone's got a different
That's
recipe. That's why,
Is it
you
a
know, some
regular?
teams win, some teams don't.
That's right. These are all the different flavors.
You betcha.
One thing I
Right.
love about the cook-off is you can taste each chili.
Yep.
Not a whole
Yep.
lot, just a little thing, and then vote for your choice.
Right, so there's actually a few different types of winners. We have first, second, third place. We have a People's Choice winner, and then we have a best booth.
Oh,
So a lot of guys take a lot of pride in spending a lot of time making a booth for everyone.
All right.
So you guys
I
like
can see
decorate.
that.
Each
And I-
booth is
Yeah.
a different
Is
theme.
it competitive between each fire station?
Very much so.
Extremely.
Yeah, very much so.
Who wins? You have a
Um,
champion always?
Yes.
The last couple years, Northport Fire Rescue's actually taken home the trophy, but
Really?
we're going to try to bring it back to
Gotta bring it
Sarasota
home.
this year.
All right.
And of course,
All
this
right.
is all fundraising based.
Absolutely.
All right, and proceeds go where?
To the Sarasota Firefighters Benevolent Fund.
Okay.
We've been established since 1996.
Mm-hmm.
And so our mission statement is we help each other in times of need. So
Which
we
is
have we help our local firefighters, and actually this past week we've had a few flights of firefighters travel down to Key West to help the community down there.
Yeah, all the hurricane
Yeah.
victims.
Yep. So you're doing this for a good cause when you go out and
Absolutely.
try all the different
Definitely.
chilies. This is coming up
Yep.
on October 8th, the Morton's Firehouse Chili Cook-Off. I see
Oh,
the
yeah.
secret.
There
The
we go.
secret
The
to
secret
Station
ingredient.
11
Sauce.
appears to be the black and tan Guinness going in. So we'll see what kind of flavor that adds. Bobette,
And
dish up
speaking
the
of flavor,
chili.
where's
We are
our
ready.
How do you guys want it? You want cheese or anything?
Just the way it is.
Just the way it
Just the way
is.
it is.
Yeah.
All
What
right.
about you, Linda?
All right, this is just one of dozens of flavors of chili we'll be able to try this weekend. We look forward to it. Thanks to the Sarasota County Fire Department for
Thank
coming
you,
out.
guys.
And we are great to have everyone. Sheba, a lot of
Cheers.
fun. Enjoy.
Yes, I'll be there.
I've got the fire extinguisher. If it's too much for you, I'll help you out. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. Take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view.